Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nate. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today it is TBR time. I'm going to be picking my February TBR and I am very excited about this. I had to use this video as like bargaining chip with myself to finish my uni assessment for the month, which I did manage to do, and so it was like the driving force. I wasn't allowed to film this until I had done that assessment. So that's all done. Before we get into the video, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that watched my last video. It's gotten like the most views any video has ever, which is a little scary, but I'm honestly so grateful for it, and also for subscribing. I'm almost at 400 subscribers, I think, and yeah, that's crazy to me. So thank you so much. I'm honestly so appreciative. It's a little scary, but I'm extremely grateful. So today I'm going to be using a 10-sided dice instead of a 12-sided dice, simply because I think I'm going to have a bit more free time in February to read, as opposed to January. I didn't actually complete my January TBR, so this might be a mistake, but we'll see. And the goal is to roll the dice, get around this board, and to pick prompts to figure out what books I'm going to be reading for the month. I was sensible this month and have made a bit of a list of audiobooks that I actually have coming in, because I didn't do that last month, and then listened to some of them instead of like prioritizing other stuff. I am hoping to participate in a couple of readathons this month maybe, as well as some other challenges, but I will talk about the bulk of those books after the game, but we shall film the game section first, and then talk about anything extra I need to add in afterwards. Before we get on to February, I just want to do a quick recap for January. In January, I got 10 books altogether, so these 9 and then also Dowry of Blood. I did manage to read Dowry of Blood, and I read both the Heartstoppers, Castle in the Air, Kingdom Over the Sea, I finished A Storm of Swords, I read Haikyuu. I'm halfway through Jade City, but these two I haven't read completely. I had started this one, but I'm only like 20-something pages in, so I did not complete my TBR for January, which is fine. I ended up reading a couple of other books instead, so I probably did read about 10 things, but not all of them were TBRs, so I don't get my extra points for like my game, completing my game for my TBR, but this is how my points looked by the end of January and the total amount of points that I ended up the month with. So yeah, I'm intending to finish Jade City in the first couple of days in February. So yes, let's jump into the first roll. So my board is all set up, everything is shuffled, I've got all my jars, and I'm actually going to use my little Bulbasaur pop figure as my figure today. So this is the start stop, and we have to get around the whole board. So in theory, I could roll 4 10s and get 4 books, but we shall see how that goes. So roll number 1 for February is a 9. So that would take us to green, which is, for our first book, a manga. That is beautiful. So for our first prompt for manga, I'm going to be putting on Hero Tales Volume 3. This is by Hiromu Arakawa, who is the mangaka of Fullmetal Alchemist. This is a 5-book series, so this is dead on the middle, and I did enjoy the first 2 volumes. The second volume had a bit of a leading into a romance that I thought was a bit weird, but it's not the main focus of the series, so I don't think it's going to be the biggest focus, in this, so I'm okay with carrying on with it. It does have the kind of same wonderful art style and same kind of humor that Fullmetal Alchemist does, which I really like. This is kind of about people that have inherited the powers of these like stars and a kind of country at war. Yeah, I don't actually know if I 100% can describe it. I remember what happened in it, but I don't understand if I could describe it that well. But it's kind of like that about people that have these powers. They are stars, and there's 3 of them at the moment kind of gathered together, and then one of them is their enemy, and I think they're going to end up fighting. I don't know. It has a nice colour page at the beginning. So this will be the first pick that I read for February. And let's go on to roll number 2. Will the big rolls continue? Let's have a look. No. 1, 2, 3, and that is a red space. Let's have a look. The biggest book on my TBR. Now, for the biggest book on my TBR, if I went by what Goodreads thinks, I would be reading Jonathan Strange and Mr. Morale, because Goodreads thinks that's over 1,000 pages. The version I have is 600 pages, so I won't be going for that. And then after that, it is A Feast for Crows, which is book 4 in A Song of Ice and Fire, which I can't do because I haven't read book 3, like the second half. So the next book, with 919 pages, is Riders by Jelly Cooper. Now, this book is one that when I was younger and growing up, my mum had and was around the house, and like me and my sisters thought the cover was really funny when we were like children. And I was doing a challenge once where I had to get my mum to recommend me a book, and she told me to read this, so I bought it secondhand, and I didn't read it at that time. I think I read like a chapter. So I think this month is going to be the month. I'm going to actually try reading this and then getting rid of it if I don't like it and don't want it. I don't 100% know if it's going to be for me. It's set in the 80s. In the first chapter, some of the language used was not it. And it's like a 900-page, horse riding romance book? Like, is that something that needs 900 pages? I don't know. But it's small, but it's like not small, like the writing's also small. So yeah, look, it's on here. It's gonna continue to be like probably this pick until it gets read. So this month, I'm gonna give it a go. We shall see. I'm sure I could probably find an audiobook of it somewhere, but if not, yeah, I'm gonna crack on and actually give it a go and tackle that book finally. Yeah, that's definitely probably gonna be the most out there random read of the month, probably. So let's go on to roll number 3. Okay, so let's go on with the next roll, which is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a green and a black. So the green, which is a KU book. Now, I have just unsubscribed from Kindle Unlimited just for a couple of months, which is annoying for my KU space, which I thankfully have passed. So I'm actually going to put this aside and just pick another one for now, which is a sci-fi. Okay, and then the black is, which is the challenge, is to read between 1 a.m. and 12 p.m. for 10 extra points. Basically, read in the morning. And that actually works out fantastic. For these two prompts, I actually have an audiobook coming into me from my library, and that is Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is a adult sci-fi, I believe. It got recommended to me by a friend, and I've just heard really good things about it, that it's one of those, I think, very good sci-fis, but I'm hoping it's an easy-ish sci-fi. I've not read a ton of sci-fi. The audiobook comes into me on the 15th of February. It's apparently 16 and a half hours. I most likely will listen to it on 1.25, 1.5 speed. And if I remember to listen to it between 1 a.m. and 10 p.m., so in the mornings, I will get an extra 10 points for my game. Obviously, that's quite good in that I could listen to it while walking to uni and such like that. So yeah, that is the third book. On to the next row. A 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is another green. We're getting a lot of greens today. And that's a middle grade. That works out lovely. So for middle grade book, I'm going to be putting on one of the books in the Keepers of the Lost City series. I haven't actually finished the first book as I'm filming this, so I'm probably going to put the first book on there because I'll be able to finish that quite early on in the month. And I do have like 3 days left of my audiobook, but then I can also find the ebook if I need to. This book series is for a like read-along series that Meg over at Mega Reads is doing. I don't know when the live show is for this first book, which was supposed to be January's read, so I am intending to finish it before January. I'm already a bit into it, and then yeah, I want to read the second one in February so that I'm prepared for February. I didn't get the first book in this series on my January TBR, which is why it then didn't become a priority. So I am glad to get it on my February TBR. So it's basically going to be both those books, but I'm going to say it's the first book so that I finish it. But that will be for the middle grade pick for the month. So on to the next roll. A 3. A blue. Nice to have something that's not a green. And that is a highest rated book. Okay, it's not surprising because I knew it was highly rated, but yeah, so with 4.61, which beat out Crooked Kingdom, which is 4.60, it is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I did get this last year. I started it. By started it, I mean I'm like 13 pages in. I don't know why, I just wasn't feeling it at the time. I don't need to introduce this book. Most people know what it's about, but yeah, I'll finally be reading it this month, hopefully. I think there's a romance in it. I wanted to pick romancy books for February because it's February. I think this is like an enemies to lovers, which I'm not always the biggest fan of, if I'm honest. I prefer friends to lovers, so we'll see how I feel about this. I mean, I'm excited to actually try reading it and see how I feel. There are some big books now on this, though I do have 2 audiobooks, so that's good. But yeah, Fourth Wing will be added on to the list. Let's go on to the next row. 5. Which is another green. So let's go for a graphic novel. So I think I mentioned last month when I pulled graphic novel. Graphic novel is specifically for like Western graphic novels, and then manga is specifically for Japanese manga. So for this one, I almost put on Heartstopper Volume 5 because I have a library loan out for that, which I'm like second in queue for, so probably will come in February. But I think I'm going to actually put in one that I own, and I'm going to put in Something is Killing the Children. It is by 3 different people. I think it's like a kind of horror comic. When the children of Archer's Peak, a sleeping town in the heart of America, begins to go missing, everything seems hopeless. Most children never return, but the ones that do have terrible stories. Impossible details of terrifying creatures that live in the shadows. Their only hope of finding and eliminating the threat is the arrival of a mysterious stranger, one who believes the children and claims to be the only one who can see what they can see. This does sound really cool. Hopefully it's not scary. I'm a wuss, so I might get scared. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it. And if I like it, I can obviously go and buy some more of the series. I don't have that many graphic novels. I'm much more of a manga collector, but I would like to expand that. So yeah, I'm excited to read that. On to the next row. A 4, which is a blue and a black. So for the blue is to start a new series, okay? And the black is to finish the book in 2 days for 15 points. Okay, so for this one, I almost went with an audiobook that I have coming out, which is the start in a series. But I just didn't want to push myself to listen to it in 2 days because I read books quicker than I think I would listen to them. So I want to take my time with them. So instead I found one that is relatively short and I can add, and it's one I've had for ages and do want to put on my TBRs at some point. And that is Zombie by Darren Shan. Darren Shan is an author that kind of is the one I credit to really helping me fall in love with reading. His Saga of Darren Shan series was the first actual book series that I read. Before that, I really wasn't very good at reading and like listened to a lot of other audiobooks. So it was the first one that I really read. And I really like that series, which is about vampires, and I really like his demon series. And so then this series is a zombie series. This is a middle grade zombie book. I have no idea what it's about other than zombies, and I don't really intend to find out. I'm just going to read it. It is 220 pages, just under, and so it will be a very, very easy read. I think it's going to be quite quick. It is a middle grade, so I don't imagine it's going to be like tough to read. And yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it. There is, I think, about 12 volumes in this series, but because they're all quite short, I don't think it's like as much big of a commitment. But I think that's a good one to put on when I have a couple of other big books on for the month. And let's go on to what could potentially be our final roll. Let's roll. Are we going to finish? We need 7, I think, to finish. We got 1, which is a free pick, which is nice. So I will do that at the end like I do. So we need a 6, which we got a 4. 2, 3, 4. We were in this position last month when we had to then go all the way back to the beginning. So let's see what we have. Go back to the last red spot. Okay, we've gone back here, and now because I have landed on this spot, I now have to pick both of those again. So the green is a crime detective. The red is a non-fiction crime detective. So if I can find a book that works for both, I will add them on. If I can't, I have to add 2 books on. So for this one, I think I'm going to go for the maybe not so smart idea of separating the prompts, since I've just gone back a bit. But one of them is a manga, and that is going to be for the detective prompt, obviously. Could you get non-fiction manga? I guess you could. But this is Monster Volume 2. The main character in this isn't a police or detective. He is a doctor. There are serial killers and police involved. I think I can remember how the last one ended. I might have to quickly reread the last bit of the volume 1. But yeah, this is by Naoki Urasawa. He's a very, very famous, very popular mangaka. And so this is quite a well-known series. I have a load of volumes. I did enjoy volume 1. So I want to carry on with this series. I'll show you a bit of what the art looks like. With a policeman. So, you know, there are police involved. So this will be the book for that prompt. And then for my non-fiction, I have gone for a chunkier one, but it's one that I know I can get the audiobook for, and one I've already started, and one that's on my self-destruct list, and that is Richard Dawkins' The Greatest Show on Earth. I am at page 145. So I still have a chunk, though, left to read. And I'll be honest, I don't even know if I understood what I read. So I want to get the audiobook for this anyway, because I think I'm just going to be able to take it in a lot easier if I'm hearing someone else say words that I don't know how to pronounce. I think that will be more helpful. So this will also go on there. This might be what brings my downfall this month, but we shall see. We shall see. I'm optimistic. I'm always weirdly optimistic at the beginning of these games. And then I think by about week 3, it's all fallen to pieces. So we're at 9 at the moment, although 2 of them are audiobooks. So yeah. And we're back to almost halfway around the board. Right, let's go for some big ones. Come on, Bozo. Okay, though, this is our first spinner of the game, which I guess is nice. Now, for this month and for future months, I've actually added in ebook as a spinner, as a slice on my spinner wheel, because I realised I was buying a load of ebooks for 99p because I'm on a physical book buying ban, but not a digital one, and then I've amounted to having about 30. So I thought, you know what, I should probably add that as a spinner wheel pick so I could get through them. But it's my series jar instead. Okay, so my series jar. Now, for my series jar, I feel like I change this all the time. I apologize. I feel like everything gets changed here and there. That's not my series jar. This is my series jar. For my series jar, I had all of the individual volumes in series I was in, but I've actually decided to change it and just put the titles of the series in on slips of paper, because that way then they're all fair. And also the slips of paper are so much easier to grab. Before I had them on card and they were a lot harder to grab. So yeah, let's grab this one, which is, I'll let you guys see it first. What does that say? Is that upside down? What does that say? Percy Jackson. So, volume 5 in the Percy Jackson series. I wanted to finish this like last year before volume 6 came out, and I didn't. So yeah, this is The Last Olympian, which is the end of the original series of Percy Jackson. I do have volume 6. I don't know if I'm supposed to read other stuff before reading volume 6. I was maybe going to look up like some kind of reading list. If anyone knows, let me know if I can jump into volume 6 after this, or if I have to read like Magnus Chase, the other things. I don't actually know. I don't know everything there is in the series, but the other things. But yeah, I'm excited to read this. I won't obviously say what it's about. It's volume 5. But yes, I'm very excited to carry on with this world and to finish the original series of Percy Jackson. Big numbers. 5. Which is a purple and a black. Okay, so let's get up the spinner wheel again. Which is a manga, which is lovely. And then the black will be to read it in 3 days. I mean, that's quite easy, so I'm not mad about that. So for my manga jar is here. I have all of the titles of series is written down on little bits of card. So I'm just going to pull out this one, which, can you see what that says? Because I can't. Oh, it says Naruto. Okay, I'm not 100% sure what volume I'm on, because basically for Naruto, I got to a point when it was being released where I was reading it weekly online, chapter by chapter, and I always do that when I get really into a series, and then get bored of reading things weekly, because you get like 20 pages a week, but then you have to like stop and start, and I really hate that, and so then I forget. I do know how the series ends. I've watched the movies after the series. I've read like the first volume of Boruto, so I know how the series wrapped up, but I've never actually finished the anime or the manga. So I think I'm going to start again at volume 48. I won't read all of this, this. Volume 49 will be the one that's on the TBR, but the volume 48 finishes off an arc, which I know quite well, the arc. It's the Pain arc, and I know that one quite well. I definitely read that, and I've watched all the anime for that. So I'm going to finish that off. Like, I might just read the bits after that, and then go into volume 49. I remember most of it, but I don't remember, like, all of the details and all of the fights that happen and stuff like that, so I'm going to reread those. That's another 2 manga, though, on my list, which is good, because I did want to do at least trying to read 8 volumes of manga a month, which I failed in January, because I put none of them on my TBR. So I need to make sure I get things on my TBR, even if they're not on the official game. I'm going to try and set them so that I am at least thinking about things to read. But yeah, I'm excited to read that. I really like Naruto. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back into that world. And I will easily be able to read those in 3 days. So we don't want to get a 2, because I haven't landed on these yet, but these are basically portal spaces. They're new. So this one takes you here. This one takes you here. But this one takes you here. So we don't want to land on this one. So anything but a 2, really. 9, beautiful. 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's a blue. So we will have, yeah, that's 1. The lowest rated book. So the lowest rated book I have with a 3.09, which is quite low, although it only has 359 ratings. So I don't know how good of a judge that is. But it is Yuki-chan in Bronte Country. This is by Mick Jackson. This book came out in 2016. I don't remember where I bought it. Don't remember why I bought it, but I own it. So yeah, this will be the book for my lowest rated. On to what is hopefully our last roll. We need 3. Let's go. We need a 3. We gotta run. Okay. Okay, we gotta go back to the start. I don't see myself finishing this TBR. I was optimistic. I no longer am. So let's start again. I'm gonna put that at the bottom, and I want to cry. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have gone with a D10. A 7. 7, that's a free pick. So I have 2 3 picks now. I need to remember that. I will do both of them at the end of the game. A 1, which means it's a spinner wheel. Standalone. I'm kind of regretting my decision to pick a D10. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I kind of want to cry. I think these books aren't gonna get read. But on the positive side, I will have a big selection to pick from. So there we go. Positives. This is my standalone jar. It has all of the books' titles in from pre-June last year. So it is... Are you fucking kidding me? It's Riders by Jelly Cooper. It's Destiny. It wants me to read that book this month. Okay, let's go again. Let's do this one. Ooh, Hidden Figures. Okay, Hidden Figures. I really butchered the name. I don't know if it's supposed to be Margaret, but it's written Margot. But Margaret or Margaret, what's it? Margaret Lee Shetley. This is the book that inspired the film. I really enjoyed the film, which is why I picked up the book. So I'm guessing it's going to basically be the same. Oh, it has actually a lot of referencing in the back. That's interesting. Okay, that chunk is referencing in notes. So it's not actually that big. It's 270, no, that's also acknowledgements. It's 260, that's the epilogue. Yeah, it's 265 pages, although the writing is tiny. So yeah. I'm excited to read this. Like I said, I really enjoyed the movie, and yeah, would really recommend the movie if you've not watched it. I don't know if it's a good adaptation, so I will let you know if I think that as well. But yeah, I'm excited to read this if I get to it this month, which is a possibility of not happening. 6. 5, 6. Another purple. Okay, the spinner wheel is back with a vengeance. So, which I don't mind, but then I just can't pick the books myself. Stay there. Damn it. Another serious book. The only reason I say damn it is because A Game of Thrones is in here, and, you know, they are big books. So we'll go with this one, which is... My handwriting's going to be terrible, so I apologise. Mary Jane. Okay, this is fine. So Mary Jane, this is by Judith O'Brien. This is not mine, these are my sister's, but I think there's only 2 in this series. They are, I guess, Spider-Man retellings, but about Mary Jane as the main character. The first one was fine. It wasn't great, but it was short and easy to get through. I read it when I was doing a kind of like reading 7 books in 7 days challenge, which I then scrapped the video because I hated it. But I did read the 7 books in 7 days. So yeah, I might do something like that again this month, maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to commit to that. Take it back. It was fine. It's very, very short, but there are beautiful illustrations in this book at like the beginning of all the chapters. I didn't particularly love the first book, but I think there's only 2 books out, so it will knock that series off my list for me, which is nice. And yeah, definitely one of the nicer ones it could have picked. So I would actually try and get that done this month, and I can leave this slip of paper out because I don't need it anymore. I'm at nearly 40 minutes of filming, so this is going to be fun to edit. Let's keep going. Big numbers. A 9. Right. again. So the only one we haven't had yet is ebook. Oh, he speaks too soon. Okay, so all of my ebooks are in this little box. I am someone that loves a jar, so any excuse to make a jar. I literally made this yesterday, and I actually bought 3 new books this morning because Amazon emails me all the time. It's not my fault, it's Amazon. So they're also in here as well. So we're gonna go with this one. I have no idea what it's gonna be. I think I have some chunky ones on there, but it is, can you even read that? Oh, it's A Deadly Education. This is by Naomi Novak. I'll put a picture of it here. I'm pretty sure it's by Naomi Novak. I know nothing about it. It's on the list. That's all I can say. Yeah, I bought it though because I just heard people like it. So I'm really easily influenced. Let's go on to the next roll. Let's go. Okay, that is a 4. Which is a blue. Which is a Gem pick. Gem is my sister, so I will text her, and let me quickly text her now, actually. I'm going to pause this video and text her. Okay, I had a pause. I messaged my sister Gemma to see what she wants me to read. If she gets back to me in this when I'm filming the video, I will let you guys know. But this is what she picked. I think she's going to want me to read Midnight Sun. Let's go on to the next book. We're not that far off. I think 2 more goes. We could do it. 8, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ebook. Okay, that is my ebook spot. Okay, I apparently have on here 82 books. Some of them are Kindle Unlimited books, which are still on there. Okay, so I think I'm going to do a poll pick for this one. I did poll pick last month, which thank you so much for voting on. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I think I could try and get some on here that are ones that could fit for things. Okay, so I think I'm going to give 2 books. These are going to be both romance books. I don't know much about them, but I own them now. The first one is going to be Mr. Wrong Number by Lynn Painter. Actually, I'm going to do more than 2. So we're going to have Mr. Wrong Number by Lynn Painter is option 1. Indigo Ridge by Devney Perry as option 2. Flower Heart by Catherine Brackwell. I don't know if this is a romance. It looks cute, the cover, which is why I bought it. So that will be my 3rd pick. Let's do a 4th as well. Oh, let's do The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. If I can do 5, which I hope I can, The Wisteria Society of Lazy Scoundrels as my 5th. Those will be my 5 ebook choices. I will put a poll up at the same time this video goes up. And yeah, if you guys could help me pick, that would be lovely. I definitely will try and prioritize this one because other people have voted on it. So it's like, you know, I don't want to waste your time. So those are the 5 options. So yeah, I will leave that poll. It'll be on my channel. Yeah, thanks. Let's go on to hopefully our last roll. We don't want a 3 is the big no. I mean, I know we can't go back to the start because it's at the bottom of the pile now. Okay, it's a 3, so... Okay, Bulbasaur did not bring any luck this month. Okay, a classic, but a read-only classic. That's not too bad. The red was fine. It could have been worse. It has been worse. So yeah, for my read-only classic, I'm going to be putting on Thomas Hardy's selected short stories. This is also known as Life's Little Ironies. This is on my 12 books to self-destruct this year, which is why I'm putting it on there. It seems to be quite a few short stories, so I could like periodically read them throughout the month. I have never read anything by Thomas Hardy before. I don't know if I'm going to like his writing. I don't also know if I love short stories. Maybe the ones that I've read so far just weren't good short story collections. So we shall see if I like this. Probably one of my lesser priorities for the month, I'll be honest, but we shall see. On to maybe our last roll, unless we get a 1. A 7. We made it to the end, finally. Okay, we need a green, which is a UK author. We need a blue, which has sprayed edges, and we need a black. The challenge is to read 50 pages outside. Okay, so that took me some finding, but I think it says, it doesn't say she's English, but it says she grew up in London and got her MA in Warwickshire. So I'm assuming Kat Dunn is a UK author. I'm hoping. And this is one of the only books that I have by a UK author that has sprayed edges. So that was quite a task. I don't know much about this book. I bought it as a special edition from when I was on my like special edition kick last year when I got into Illumicrate and stuff, where I acquired all these sprayed edge books that I have yet to read. I don't know anything about it. I'll give it a go. Maybe. Probably not. Actually, no, maybe, because I tend to prioritize ones that have points because I want to buy new books, so I need to get points for that. Because I'm probably not going to get my complete the TBR bonus points, let's be real. So, oh my god, I still have 2 free picks. I thought I'm just going to be sensible and put 2 manga on there. I want to read 8 volumes a month, so I was going to try and find another 4 volumes to add to this list anyway. So I think I'm just going to put on volumes 25 and 6 of Boys Over Flowers. These are going to be the 2 that I've added on for my free picks, which is quite nice. So let's go through what I have so far, and then I'll just talk about other things that I'm doing for the month. I'm not going to say what they were for because I can't remember, but I will have a book from my poll pick, A Deadly Education. I then have Children of Time, is that what it's called? the Adrian Tchaikovsky book, and then also the Keeper of the Lost City book. Those are the 4 books that I don't own. There will also be my sister's pick, which I imagine is going to be Midnight Sun, but this is what it is. She hasn't texted me back yet, so it'll be this one. And then I have all of my physical books. So these are the books that I have. What do we have? We've got Yuki-chan and Bronte Country, Mary Jane 2, selected short stories by Thomas Hardy, Readathons, Fourth Wing, Something is Killing the Children, Zombie, Hidden Figures, Riders, The Greatest Show on Earth, and Percy Jackson and the Last Olympian for my books. And then the manga that are on the TBR, I have Monster Volume 2, Hero Tales Volume 3, Naruto Volume 48 and 49, and then Boys Over Flowers Volumes 25 and 26. So now let's go over a few little other bits that I kind of am doing this month. So for my Read Your Bookshelf Challenge, the prompt was a book over 400 pages. I have a few here that fit. So like if I managed to read Riders, that would fit. The more likely one that I will read will be Fourth Wing. This is over 400 pages, so this will probably be that one. For the buzzwordathon is happy words or positive words. So this book has greatest, I would say is sometimes positive. So yeah, I haven't solidly got on what I'm going to do for that one, but I am going to try and find one. I am possibly going to be listening to a really good actually, I think it's called, which I think is going to be my like in-person friend book club pick for next month. That would be perfect, so good would work for that. So that might end up being what it is. For my year in Eldia, I haven't quite decided what path I'm going to turn down. I have a book 100 pages longer than average, which Fourth Wing I think could count for that. My average read is about 350, so if I decide to go there, Fourth Wing will count for that. A book with non-human characters, Percy Jackson potentially could count for that. They're demigods, so they're not quite human. There's also gods in there and also monsters, so this could potentially count. Zombie potentially could count for that because, again, although they were human, they're zombies, so not human. So I think it's going to be either of those two for Aurelium. And then I mentioned that I did want to try and read 8 manga a month, and so I did not do that in January. I did not put them on my TBR. I think, well, including graphic novels, I read 3. So including the graphic novels, I actually have 7 on my TBR for this month, but I'm actually going to add 2 on, and it's going to be Hero Tales Volumes 4 and 5, just to finish out this series. So I do think I could do that. Like I said, these aren't going to affect the end of my actual game. I don't actually know if it matters, but they're not going to. So I could still, in theory, complete my game without reading these. But yeah, I thought I would need to actively start adding this into this like video and into making on my list when I write my TBR list up. Otherwise, I'm going to completely forget about it, which is what happened in January. I am very much out of sight, out of mind. If I'm not thinking of it, it's not happening. For readathons that I'm potentially going to be doing in January, I'm potentially going to be doing the 72 hours in the Reading Nook. This is hosted. It's hosted by a few people, but I saw it originally on, I think, Covers with Cassidy's video. I will leave a link to her announcement video for it. I don't have a set TBR for that. It's going to be kind of random throughout the TBR, so I'm fine with whatever for that one. But one that I did also want to participate on is going to be the Literature Readathon. I think this is the week after Valentine's Day, I think it is. Steph Loves Books is the host. So she had made a bingo board, and there are 6 prompts on that bingo board, and you can double up. And I suppose I could use some manga for it, so I could use Boys Over Flowers for some of them. But yeah, I haven't really got anything on here from that readathon. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to be reading for that readathon yet. I am probably going to vlog it, so I will just maybe make a vlog of it, and it might end up being random video books that are not on this TBR. We shall see. I think that's everything. I think I've waffled on for long enough. I think this video is almost an hour. This takes such a huge part of my day to film this video. I'm not mad about it because I love it, but yeah, there are some different reads here. I have no idea what I'm going to be starting this month. Thank you guys absolutely so much. If you have made it this far in the video, let me know if you've actually read any of these books. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have read Fourth Wing. Yeah, and any that you think are good. There are some that I've had, like Bronte Country and Riders, that I would like to read just to try to knock off my TBR because they've been on there for a while. But yeah, some others I'm more excited about than others. But I'm interested to see how it goes. I think I haven't missed anything. I think this is where it ends. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you again hopefully soon. Bye.